Guess which Australian singer wrote this school assignment? Starting high school. I hated my first day at high school. I turned up bright and early with my gigantic school shirt and blue stubbies. It wasn't until my friends started turning up that I realised the mistake I'd made. I was wearing blue shorts. The uniform was grey. For the next 7 months, I wore blue shorts to school every day. It didn't so much worry me, except that I became sick and tired of telling everyone the reason why I bought 5 pairs of blue stubbies at the start of the year, and that money-wise, I'd be better off wearing the shorts to school for a while rather than discard them for the drab grey beauties that I desired so much. I remember thinking how so much has changed. Everyone seemed so grown up, yet so bored. For the first few days, all everyone did was walk around, with stiff pace and rigid expression. Classes also seemed serious and bland. By the first week, I had wanted to leave. I dreaded going to school each day. The way we all acted, and I say we because I'm to blame also. You'd have thought someone had died. I guess someone did die, or something. My childhood disappeared gradually over the 6 weeks, Christmas holidays before grade 8. I notice it now because I'm older and can observe, yet then I was an active participant and helped kill my own innocence. I must have known what to do, because over those Christmas holidays I did a lot of subtle things. For instance, I sold my entire Star Wars toy collection for a merely $30, when I knew damn well I could have got more for them, perhaps $100. I guess it wasn't the price that I was concerned about. I just had to sell my foolishness to the first buyer. I wanted to be grown up in time for my first day of high school. I didn't really want to get rid of them, and no one in the family had ever mentioned my strange toy collection. I just knew. And so for the most of that first year, I walked around in a daze, wondering why life had to get so morbid when you entered high school. I looked at the year 9 students. They seemed so much more relaxed than my grade. They fooled and joked, and yet it was a different kind of humour. A humour of knowingness, the calm after the storm. The year before, I'd had a wonderful year. My grade 7 teacher was my grade 6 teacher. I was stuck with him for another year. Although I didn't like the thought of having the same teacher for 2 years in a row, I later learned to enjoy the experience. The teacher's name was Mr. Sordello, and he was American. He used to tell our class stories of the USA, and that it used to fascinate me. I learnt to love his stories. In that year, we all became very close because the class had been together for 2 years. On the last day of school, students had given Mr. Sordello presents for Christmas. I'd wanted to buy him a present, but we couldn't afford the money. I remember he sat down and said, "You know, I really don't care if you give me a present or not, but a card or even a scrap of paper with a few words on it would have been just as appreciated." I just sat there and felt terrible. We left that afternoon and I never saw Mr. Sordello again. I wanted to say all kinds of nice things to him, but I just couldn't. Later in grade 8, I would sometimes walk through my old primary school and wondered where my dreams had gone. I couldn't believe my childhood had just curled up and died in my old classroom. I used to walk by my old room and try to imagine the seats the way they had been when I was there. Sometimes I wished I'd seen my old teacher. One day in the middle of year 9, after I'd loosened up and began enjoying high school, I saw a television show. A man and his wife were pleading for donations of money. Their baby daughter was born with a hole in the heart and needed to travel to America to receive urgent medical treatment. Her parents were Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Sordello. They had to raise some incredible amount of money if their daughter was to survive. I never sent any money. The baby died. It was not through lack of money that baby Renee died. There was plenty of money. Donations had come from everywhere. Renee died because the operation was not a success. It just as soon could have been the lack of money that killed her. That's how I felt anyway. Afterwards, I couldn't even send them a sympathy card. It seems stupid now, but I must have thought they might hate me for not sending any money in the first place. I don't know why I acted the way I did. I guess after going through all the pain of losing my childhood, I didn't want to all suddenly come rushing back to me. Not that way. That's so silly is that I miss my innocence now. I'm only 16 years of age. An older person reading this would probably laugh at me and tell me to wait till I reach their age. I suppose they'd be right. As every day goes by, a part of my life dies, crumbles away, only to be remembered when I get in my foolish, sentimental moods. It seems as though every time an era of your life ends, a new one takes its place, and you feel you've been shortchanged until that dies too, and then you miss it like you've missed the last. And if I ever left, would you die of grieving? Stevie Nicks.